welcome back to another Kornercast podcast here on casterscorner.com. I'm your host, Khalil, and this week on the show, our friend Brian from Fanboy Factor is on fanboyfactor.com and Fanboy Factor on all social media, and we just talk. It was a frankly honest conversation about getting through the pandemic, collaborating on projects, talking about projects, a little bit about mental health too. Brian goes off on a rant about Jeff Johns, and it was just great to kind of catch up because the no conventions means we don't have these times, because Brian and I usually bump into each other at New York Comic Con and Toy Fair, and maybe we'll grab something to eat or hang out and talk or go on a tour together. So not having those moments this year, it has been important for me to kind of keep in touch with the friends that I don't usually get to see. So it was great to kind of catch up with Brian. And we talked also about his son, Sean, doing Toy of the Days as well. So it's fun to see the new generation also doing that stuff. So it was great to catch up with him. It really was. We're just continuing with Toy of the Day here at Caster's Corner. We got Muppets, we got Marvel Legends, we got Transformers, we got a lot of stuff in the pipe. We got some more podcasts. We're still working on scheduling some stuff out. We've got a fun announcement that we'll probably make later in the fall about the show that I'm kind of excited about. And so this is a short intro. I'm not gonna keep it on. Remember to of course support us. Go to TeePublic and check out our shirts. Follow us. We are at Caster's Corner on all social media. Go to casterscorner.com, Caster's Corner on YouTube, and check out our daily toy reviews. And check out Brian, fanboyfactor.com, as well as Fanboy Factor on all socials and YouTube. And yeah, that's all I got this week. It's kind of short and sweet, and you get to jump right into the conversation. And I hope you enjoy it. It was a very honest conversation that I really enjoyed having with Brian. So I hope you enjoy it too. Like I said, it's an honest conversation between friends, and I think that's what I've really strove for this podcast, is to be able to have those moments as well. So yeah, that's about it. So go follow us, go follow him. Thank you guys for listening, and without further ado, it is myself, it is Brian from fanboyfactor.com. Enjoy, everybody.
Progress.
New feature of Zoom. I was recording with Jesse and DJ once, and I have my Zoom recorder, and I forgot to hit the Zoom program. So we're 15 minutes in, and I'm like, and then you hear that 15 minutes into the podcast this. We've been rolling the whole time, guys. So how you doing? What's up? What's going on?
I'm doing okay. Day job's taking a lot out of me. This time of the year, this time of the month is we do month ends and stuff. So just really crazy. Trying to find that with time, with the site, and then Sean wanting to have his own YouTube channel.
Hey, if the kid wants to do it, right? He wants to be like Dad.
No, he's going past that. He's getting into the gaming and stuff, and I don't know who he's recording for, but he's playing Roadblocks and recording stuff, and I got to figure out how to take that and put it into a video for him. So
it's not bad. It's exciting though. I think throughout all of this, I think we've kind of talked back and forth. What do you think he's going to be like? Right.
Right.
We've had those conversations. These are Dad's toys, and you don't touch. And I think that went out the window. For the most part. I'm sure there's still a few, but it's been fun to kind of watch that from the outside going. He's Brian's kid, all right.
We're definitely at the point where I don't have to sneak in action figures. It's just he knows. It's just he gets a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Daddy wants one thing that comes out in a blue moon. So, let me have it.
Yeah. So, okay, that's good. What's that like though, from the perspective of like, being a parent and putting them on the internet? Like, how's that been for you? Like the thought of that, because some people chose to go private, some people just
Right.
share their lives, and I mean, you shared family game night, you've shared videos,
and he's been out there since day one. I mean, I've had a camera in his face since the moment of birth, and I posted photos all over the damn place. And this is just going to video is just the next evolution. When we first started talking about it, my wife wasn't too thrilled about it. She was worried about all the people on the internet, the perverts and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's not like they're knocking on our house. We can't stop what they do in their own homes. As long as we don't know about it, and as long as we don't see it, I don't see a problem with this. So she's become more very accepting of it. So
yeah, she's been in a few.
Yeah,
it's fun. Is it? Do you and like? I'm curious. Like, is it like? Does he say, "Hey, Dad, I got this new toy. Can we make a video?" Or
yeah,
are you
much.
like, or are you saying, "Hey, we got this new toy. We got to go do a video"?
When we get offers for, obviously when he buys, when we buy new toys for him, there's certain ones that he wants to show on video. A lot of the Moose toys, the Treasure Racks, the Gujitsu, those are his favorite right now.
Yeah.
And he loves doing videos for that. Anything else from other companies, I always, ask him, hey, would you be interested in this? And if he gives it, yay or nay, most of the time it's yay. So we get it. It's just having a 9-year-old who has ADHD. It's just, and I'm coming from a film background still. So it's just like, he drives me up the wall with the unscripted stuff. I can't help it.
I know. That was you. I used to drive you up the wall on the old podcast, because I'd be like, "Oh, let's just go," and I'm like, "I don't need a script. Let's just go. Let's just talk."
Yeah,
and it used to piss you off.
I know. I've mellowed out a lot, but it's just like sometimes he just gets he gets too excited, gets way too out there, and I'm just like, Sean, rein it in a little. Just calm it down. So,
well, I mean, I think that there's the difference between adults freestyling and just kind of going off the cuff is the experience is there. You're listening. You're kind of you're figuring out where your words are going to go. And with somebody younger, they being a teacher and just knowing like, hey, we're talking about how to make a dugout canoe, and at some point, kid raises his hand and goes, we were driving on the highway, and my parents had a jet boat or motorboat in the back, and we were towing it, and one of the pillows went flying, and we had to stop and get off the highway and then go back and try to get it, and then it wasn't there, and then one of them was crushed by a semi truck, and like there's no self-editing, like it's free form thought, and so I can imagine the difficulties when you're trying to do a sample review versus I paid for this kind of review.
It's it's like I got to keep reminding you, it's just like, got to do the product placement, got to name the company, then we got to thank the company. I go, it's very important. And I keep trying to drill that into them.
But like, my question to you is like, is it? I mean, we've always gone back and forth about it, and this isn't like this is an honest question back and forth of like the idea of like end credits or putting in a video of you and saying we received these for free from Moose Toys, and we really appreciate you sending along these samples for more information, blah 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 blah, and letting you be like the pitch person, right? And it could be a way to kind of let him freeform, to kind of take some of the pressure off of you from the way I'm looking at going. And then, it's the text of it all. It's the placement of it all and all that stuff.
A lot of these companies, when they give you this stuff, they send you like a little legal thing these days. It's
they all do.
Yeah.
Even Hasbro. When Hasbro, I got this when we did the 50th with them. I got
Right.
this, and on the back of it, it's like, please feel free to reach out. Make sure you say Hasbro sent this to me for free. Thank you for giving me these things, and it's all those kind of things. So it, across the board, whenever you get a sample, we're always forthcoming with where we got it from, whether we paid for it or whether we got it for a sample. But it's fun. I think it's fun. I mean, just think about it from a perspective of a kid. It's like, hey, toy companies send us free stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Like, how cool is that? Like, oh God, I can't imagine being like your kids or DJ's kids and just being like, they sent us stuff.
It's hilarious because it's pretty much something new shows up the door almost every day, and it's just like no one, anybody outside this circle, that you and I have, it's just, they don't understand it and they don't get it, and then they just see what tons of toys he just gets and stuff.
And then you get to be a 40-year-old and you have this. And you're looking at all the bills going, all right. And then Hasbro drops another like $400 worth of toys this afternoon, or $800 worth of toys. And you're like, oh, Jesus, God, help me. Yeah, it's fun. Like it at the end of the day, I think it's been fun. Like it's been a slog this year to kind of get through my project, but I crawl the wall some nights because I don't know what I'm going to say, but it's been it's fun again. Like I found how to do it where it's fun. And it's like, it doesn't care. I don't care. Like, would I like views? Yes. Would I like interaction? Yes. Would I like more followers? Yes. All those things. Subscribe to the podcast, please, everybody. Go to fanboyfactor.com. Like, go all those places. Check out all that stuff. And it's one of those things where I look at it and go, and somebody brought it up today. I was talking to somebody about Instagram numbers and getting new followers and whether or not the numbers are accurate because they're playing with the algorithm or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't care. I stopped looking months ago. Like, I don't care. I don't care if it's growing. I don't care if there's more. Like, I just need to put out the work. If I keep putting out the work and it's quality work, what I consider quality, my voice is out there. I'm good with it. Like,
no, I kind of feel the same way. It's just this YouTube thing going on is just, Sean watches a lot of YouTube, and some of the people he watches, I'm just like, how does this douchebag have
I know.
a million followers? That's what baffles me. It's just like, these people are rude. It's just, they're douchebags, and I don't get it.
Yeah, no, there's a few toy reviewers I have the same feeling about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, what? But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't, because I don't think if you're creating something that is unique to you, I don't think that they're taking followers away.
No,
like this whole idea,
not a matter of that. Yeah,
it's 100% of like, you have to be engaging and interesting,
right,
and bring something to the table. And
I mean, I never thought they were taking anything away. It's just, I just wonder how they're popular. That's my only question. Is I don't think they're taking anything from me, but I just don't get how they're popular. That's my thing. It's just,
no, I agree. I don't know either. It's those viral moments. It's those moments where they just get it right and it snowballs and it happens. Like there have been times where, like, I got the Disney Plus wave early, and I had 5,000 views within 72 hours.
Right.
Like, insane number for that, that quickly. Right. And didn't really translate to much of anything. Like, it would have been nice, but it really hasn't translated overall. Maybe got like 2 or 3 new people, but like didn't really kind of light it. And I thought maybe like the next video, I'm like, oh great, the next video after 5,000, the next video had 7.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I agree, man. It's just I can't figure that algorithm too. I can't figure out what is.
It's luck.
Look, yeah,
It's luck.
really is.
It's luck. It's being at the right place at the right time, and having the ability to continue.
You're right.
That Marvel Legends review wasn't enough to do it. And the funniest thing is, I have a 30-minute video with the Impractical Jokers, and I've got like a 2-minute video with Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy.
Right.
And consistently on a weekly basis, those are my 2 most viewed videos. It's insane. And they're from 3 years ago and like 7 or 8 years ago. And I'm here it is. Like, that's just, it's just what it is.
No,
so how's the site going? How's everything going?
Honestly, the daily stuff going pretty well. Still got some great comic reviewers. Now that we're getting back with the movies, it's nice to be able to actually go to one again. And...
You son of a bitch.
Sorry.
No, it's exactly what you were just talking about, where I go, how the hell did Brian get to meet Jason Momoa? Like, wait, you're going to see Shang-Chi? Like, how did you get to see Shang-Chi? I didn't get to see it's those, and like, and it's not like, it's not like a, God damn it, Brian it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, it's because I don't really write movie reviews. And I'm like, I'm not really trying with the TV and the movie stuff. I'm so focused on like the YouTube toy of the day and the weekly podcast that I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't really do this shit. So no wonder like they're not, sending me stuff or doing whatever. And I'm excited for you. I think that's awesome. And you brought Sean to Shang-Chi. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So how has it been to get back to the theaters and see the previews and stuff like that?
Well, the screeners don't have previews, but it's just, been 3 movies so far. Started Black Widow, Snake Eyes, and then Shang-Chi. And, with Warner, they're still doing the, on HBO Max and in the theater, so they'll send me the digital copy of
right.
Like I got the digital copy of Suicide Squad.
That's such a good movie.
I
loved it.
That was great.
Okay,
it should have.
I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah. Good. Oh God, it was beautiful. It really was. It was over the top, and it was just pure.
Yeah.
Enjoyment. But it's like I try and branch out into other things. I had somebody go see Candyman this week, and he just sent me his review. What I got to get up tomorrow, and it's just really nice. You know me. I've had these contacts for a long time, many years, and I've been doing. I've been going to screenings for a while now. It's something. The press junkets. Those seem to be a little hard to get into. I got really lucky with the Aquaman one. I think they were coming down right off of Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And I was the only comic related geek there. Everybody else was, New York Times, the Washington Post, all these.
We've been in those rooms. It's really trippy.
I know but they're serious review, they're serious movie reviewers. I'm here, the geek with the knowledge of Aquaman who could tell you everything.
But you know what? Like I have come to the realization recently that like this whole idea of like gatekeeping, like this whole idea that like you have to go to journalism school or you have to write for the New York Times. Fuck you at this point in the world. Yeah. Like YouTube exists. Like one of the Paul brothers fought like one of the best boxers in history. Like there's no rules anymore. Like there's no people telling us like, so you belong in that room just as much as everybody else did. Like, and you probably had more of a reason to be in that room because they're going to judge it on stupid crap that doesn't matter. And you're going to look at it from the perspective of history and knowledge of the character and bring something to it that they couldn't do on their best day.
No.
So
I mean, because it is interesting, because it's just like getting into the press junkets and getting into the red carpets is it's like I can get to the screenings. I get past those gatekeepers, no problems. But the press junkets and the red carpets, it's just like I can't get past those guys.
Yeah.
They just, I read, because this is what annoys me. Disney sends me the day after they did a red carpet in New York City for Free Guy, and I'm like, are you serious? You couldn't tell me beforehand and maybe let me go. I'm on these press lists, and
yeah.
It's
frustrating. It's the game. Like, it's a game we play, and that's why, like, I just decided, like, I don't care. I don't care what the follower count is. I don't care how many views it gets. Honestly, it is 100% about just producing the content. And producing the content I want to produce, not that somebody else dictates to me. And so that's been a very rewarding and freeing piece. It also puts me out a little bit on an island, but I'm okay with that. So
there's no problem with that.
Yeah.
I've just been, me personally, no shock. I went through, when COVID started, I went through the huge depression.
Yeah. I think we all did.
Finally, but I was really getting into that suicidal phase again. And I finally got in the right drugs in May.
You want this on the podcast? You good with that?
I'm not afraid of it.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure, because I'll mark it.
No, this is something I live with, and I'm not. I refuse to be ashamed about it. This is.
Well, it's not a shame. No. It's not a shame. We've had these conversations. It's sharing between friends, and I don't think there should be shame in any of this stuff. That honestly, I have been depressed. I have in my life, I have had those thoughts when things got really dark, and I completely appreciate being honest and open about it. It's just, I always like to make sure that, like, we are friends. We've been friends for a long time, and sometimes stuff slips out. So I just wanted to make sure.
I'm fine with that. I mean, like I said, as of May, they put me on something else. I've been feeling good, but it's just creatively, I feel dead inside. It's just,
they impact you. They impact your mood.
It's just, I mean, thank God it's not affecting my day job. Thank God. It's not affecting the day-to-day business of the site or, stuff with Sean, but it's just my own, like the comic 101s and that
I miss
video
those.
series, the video series about me, bitching about things. It's just, it's like I just don't have the fire for it, and I don't know why.
But so let me ask you a question. Honest, like 100% honest. Cards on the table. I had the same feeling, right? Like, as far as creatively, like putting stuff out there. I had that same feeling. And for years, I had a really hard time because I couldn't write as prolifically as Bill and Junior did. Like, they just put their fingers on the keyboard and it sounds and looks beautiful.
Right.
And so, I know you enjoy doing it, but I found this year that, like, I am good at this, and I am good at, like, hi, this is the toy of the day. Go buy our shirts, go check out the website, and listen to the other 250 episodes that we've done in the last year. Like, I found where my niche was. I found where my corner was. And, like, I knew that this is where I belonged to do it. But it took a long time to accept that idea and come to grips with it, to really be able to accurately and really be consistent with it, and, like, find the consistency in it, and the rewarding self-reward that I have of, like, I sit down every night and do this, and it's accountability. It's a little bit of that. And so I wonder, at least from a friend perspective, going, what if those things, you don't have to fire for them because they're not what you're supposed to be doing? Like, I
hear what you're saying, but I feel part of it. I love educating people on these comic characters.
Yeah.
I have a passion for that. I love talking about this stuff. Last year, Sean's class had me, I was virtually, but I was in his
I remember
classroom.
that. We talked about it. You were on the podcast.
Yeah, talking about the different eras of comic books. And I still love doing that. It's just the work that goes into it these days with the video is just like,
there it is.
It's writing the script, finding the right pictures, trying to put it in the right order. It's just
that's what I'm talking about.
But on the other hand, the editorial videos I was doing, I think I was holding myself back from trying to be that guy with the nerd rage, and it's just I need to find a happy medium I couldn't find a happy medium in between the nerd rage and just criticism.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like everything you just said is exactly why I didn't do videos in the past. It is exactly why, I was worried about doing podcasts in the past and doing these articles. And I realized at a certain point, you find what your voice is, and where it's where it's more comfortable for you to get it out. So last year, I've said this to DJ, and I don't know if I said it on a podcast or whatever, but I decided when COVID hit, and I spent an obscene amount of money to redo the website and for the servers and everything, and I said I need to put time into it. So I decided I was going to do video. I was going to put stuff up on YouTube. Right. And I sent DJ a test video, 30-second test video. Mm-hmm. And the notes he sent back, I looked at it and was like, yeah, no, I'm out. Like, I feel like a loser. I feel like this isn't where I belong and I can't do this. And then it took me almost, and that's not, like, I appreciate his friendship and being honest with me and trying to help, because it all kind of came from a place of love and help.
But you still feel discouraged.
I did. And so it took me like 12 months, 9 months, right? To get to the point where I was like, fuck it. I'm going to turn on the camera. The room's dark. I'm barely lit. I don't know what I'm doing. The mic's horrible. Here's the toy of the day. Here's day one. And if you go back and look at day one, it looks horrible. And you come to today, and this is where I am.
I remember on one of the early videos, I said something to you about your sound quality. It's just like, I tried to suggest a lavalier, and you're like, the lavalier won't work. And I was just like, I love the video, but it was just like, you needed to boost that sound.
Yeah. And so I got a snowball, and I got a lavalier. I do. I have it. I got a new one because the lavalier I had wouldn't work with my computer. Yeah. And so I got one that works with the computer, right? And at some point, I've got the Arc back here. And I've got like Slave One, and I've got the Daily Bugle back there. And those are too big to do a video right here with them. Yeah. So I had to figure out how to get away from the mic and maybe do it in a different space for those bigger items. And so I got the lavalier for it. I haven't had time to set up and be able to use it, but I have it. And and so all those things, I just was like, thank you for the feedback. This is what I'm doing. And when I get there, and here's the thing: A, lighting got better. B, background got better. C, the mics got better. The sounds got better. I added a gallery at some point, extra pictures, so I had like the cover pictures, and then I decided to do a full gallery with turnarounds, and then I decided to make it a post on the site. And so like it slowly has progressed, and I've added things to it to kind of help make it manageable. And now I'm like, oh, Jesus, I got to do a gallery, and I got to do blah, 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 blah. But I mean, I really do have it buttoned up to like 40 minutes a night. Right. Like it takes about 40 minutes a night to produce these. And it's just me turning on the camera. And I just wonder if it's about you finding the path of least resistance and then building on that versus trying to do it all, all or nothing. And
that's always been my biggest problem. You know that.
Yeah.
You called me on my bullshit so many times.
Sorry.
But I appreciate it. You're my friend, please. Yeah.
But it's those things where, like, I would like to see you do it. And I've seen the amount of work that goes into it. And I understand that. But I wonder if the fire's not there because that's not where you're supposed to be. Like,
I think I'm also, by the time I get done with my day job, I'm also burnt. I'm just, I'm fried because I go 9 to 5 nonstop. I mean, I got to remember to physically get my ass out of that chair.
Mm-hmm.
I forget sometimes. I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing. I haven't had a job this busy in many, many years.
Yeah.
There is no downtime whatsoever. And so I'm like physically exhausted by the time I get home. And then all the other stuff that I have to do,
I get
everything's so time consuming, and just, I can't stay up, I can't live on, less sleep anymore. It's just, I've been working on my, oh God, yeah, I know that. And there's been some days that, I'm trying to write a script. It's like almost 11. Next thing I know, I'm nodding off, blacking out, and it's 2 hours later. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, and that's what, I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. I'm just saying.
No, I know.
I'm just, and this isn't like a Let's Help Brian podcast, because I've got other questions. But it's one of those, it's one of those things I look at with you, and I hate that. I hate when people are like, you got to do it this way, or like, if you want to lose weight, you got to do this, or if you want to, you have to find what the right path for you is, and that's my best.
With our friendship, you've always been straight with me, and you've always challenged me, and that's one of the things I love. You don't give me the answers. You are challenging me, and I love that about you, man.
Thank you. Well, I mean, but I think that's the thing. It's like there is not a cookie cutter. There is not like, this is what you do.
Right.
In the field we're in, there is this Wild West mentality of like, you have to just figure it out and figure it out for you. And, when I stopped trying to fit in the mold of trying to be Bill and trying to be DJ and his kids, or trying to be Jesse and his Red Chair Show, or any number of things that have happened, when I stopped trying to be them and just was like, here we go. Like that's where it fell into place for me. And so if there's anything, it's just like, I hope that you can find that place for you.
Please. I mean, even look at Sean. He found his place more than I did.
But you got him there. And I think the education stuff is interesting. I just wish there was an easier way for you to do it for you, because I know how much it's so good. It is so good that it's like, I would watch that over like whatever Disney Plus is producing most of the time, or like the shorts on the histories that they put on. Like, I love Warner Brothers, and I love our friend. I'm not going to mention him by name, but who I'm talking about with the with the fun Hawaiian shirts. I love that guy. He's great, but because I don't know if he wants his name out there as a person, but I think the stuff that you were producing, the Comics 101, was great. And it was like, there was a little part of me that was like, this is great. And then you start doing your shot in front of your shelves, and I'm like, wait, I started doing solo videos, and now Brian's doing solo videos. I'm like, I hope I pushed him. I hope he looked at it and went, I can do that. Because it's like, I think that's the fun part, because it's like, I do that with DJ and Jesse all the time. Like, I'm constantly going, oh, I got my review up like the first night. You're going to go to sleep? Okay, have fun. You can put it up tomorrow, I guess. And at first I wake up in the morning at 9 a.m. and there's the review. It's that fun kind of like, how can we push each other to be better?
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, that's the fun part of it. So, let's get off all this self-help and stuff. I want the nerd rage to come out. So, you, sir, are wearing a very interesting shirt. You want to tell everybody what you're wearing?
Yes, I am wearing a Golden Age Green Lantern shirt that has been weathered.
More specifically, which Green Lantern?
Alan Scott.
Okay.
Who is now he's now been retconned to be a homosexual, which I don't have a problem with anywhere there.
It's not even where I was going with it.
No.
I was just saying Alan Scott has found a, pardon the pun, rebirth due to his daughter in your favorite TV show.
Oh, God.
And you know what? I have been waiting for this moment because I have thoughts. I have thoughts on this. And I want to go back and forth with you on this one, honestly.
Honestly, I've watched one episode of Stargirl, and I can't say I hated it. Yes,
Wait, you only watched one episode of season 1?
Yeah.
Are you serious? You've been rallying against this shit for a year.
No, I've been rallying against the character for years.
Comic book or TV?
No, either or. No,
okay.
Jeff Johns is out of control.
Okay, this aside, leave him alone. Leave him. We do that later. I want to know your thoughts on like why she annoys you.
No, she's pushed down my throat, and again, it mainly has to deal with putting a leash on Jeff Johns. That is my main reason I can't stand this character, to be honest with you.
But I don't see, like, I know she got a CW show, right?
Yeah.
I know that. But like from a comic book perspective, I haven't heard much about her since, like, you know, I don't know how long have I been not reading comics, but like she doesn't pop out at me as one of those characters that really kind of stands out as like a flagship DC character. And like since like that whole John's run, right? It was John's that did JSA for a while, right?
Yes.
And kind of like the resurgence of the JSA and kind of bringing Kingdom Superman in and doing all that stuff. And she was part of that. But since then, I haven't seen her pushed in the comic book realm. I could be wrong.
I mean, after the New 52, she was part of, you had the Justice League, which was Superman, Batman, Cyborg, the new Justice League.
Right.
And then there was a government sponsored one that was made up of
Green Arrow, right?
Green Arrow, Hawkman.
Yeah. I was reading that for a little while.
Yeah. And Stargirl was in that team, and her role was the cheerleader, the face of the team.
Yeah.
Of course, they never explained where she got the Star Rod from, because that would be, trying to link it to the past.
But it wasn't. Okay. But
it didn't. The book failed. She dropped out of obscurity. Right. She dropped into obscurity. Didn't hear from her again. Over this summer, she got a one-shot.
This summer.
This past summer.
Well, I mean, she got a TV show, so
she got a TV show. Yeah, and she's getting a new series. She got the one-shot, which they did a very interesting job explaining the seven soldiers of victory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like I said, it's my hatred. It's not that I really hate the character per se. It's just I want something bad to happen to her to put a leash on Jeff Johns. I feel like he's been the biggest problem when it comes to most of the DC stuff. I really do. It's just.
But like, okay, that's definitely a different perspective and not where I thought this was going. To be honest with you, I'm 100% honest. Like, I know your dislike of Johns goes, and I think people rightfully so, but I think there's a little bit of like, it's like that Batman quote, right? It's like you either die a hero or you pardon the way it's said. It's like either you
Yeah.
die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Right.
And, you know, I think what has happened DC editorial wise has been these guys who just do whatever they want in a lot of ways. But I think it also goes a little bit towards Warner Brothers, who, in my opinion, has never been able to successfully create anything that was as well connected as the MCU.
Right. No, they cannot.
And it's from the perspective of like, well, Marvel did it. We don't want to do it that way. And it's like,
Yeah.
hey, dum-dums, like superheroes, just do it. Like,
Yeah.
like love it or hate it, the CW shows have been far better than anything they've put on the big screen, in my opinion.
I agree.
My Superhero Squad, not Superhero Squad, Jesus, Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Totally different things. Jeez, that's a big swing and a miss.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of like Crisis, even though you didn't get like all the payouts you wanted.
Right.
Kevin Conroy as old crotchety Bruce
Yeah,
Wayne.
it's
And Robert Wool, you know, looking up at the bat signal.
Yeah.
It's like those moments, like even though we didn't get Michael Keaton, even though like, you know, you didn't get Val Kilmer, or you didn't get, you know.
Yeah, but we got Burt Ward.
Ward in a red, green, and yellow shirt.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Sure.
what did he say? I forget what he was like. It's like,
Holy Red Skies or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
like it's those little fun moments that I look at and go, oh, that's awesome. And then they do what they always do, which is like Brendan Routh was amazing as Kingdom Superman in that. Like that
Right.
Superman was really well done.
Yeah.
But then you bring back Tom Welling and you don't give him the suit. And you're like, all right, Warner Brothers, here we go. Fuck you again. Like, come on.
The Welling thing he didn't want to wear the suit. I mean, that's the thing. His ego got too big.
But here's
Now
the thing. If that was true for the most recent one.
Oh, for the most recent one, this is what he's saying now. He's friends with Robert Patterson.
Yeah.
And he's saying he will put on the suit to play Superman to Patterson's Batman.
Yeah, but you know, he said that before. He did an interview. This is what bothered me. He did an interview with Michael Rosenbaum, and they were talking about, you know, CW's doing all this great stuff. It'd be great to get back into, you know, would you wear the suit and would you go back as Lex? And they're like, in a heartbeat, we drop everything to go do it. I've kind of come to love the fans and be part of it. And then Rosenbaum got offered, and he came out and he's like, well, they wouldn't tell me what the script is. And so I said no. And I'm like, that's not what you said.
Yeah.
Like, we got you on tape saying, I'll drop everything, and here we go. So I think it's, you know, there's a little bit of Warner Brothers just not. I mean, it goes back to the Justice League days where it's like, hey, no, you can't have Hal Jordan. You're going to have Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart was great. I think he was far beyond better than what they could have done with Hal Jordan. But then they go, oh, we're going to throw Hal in for. I think he fit better in the Justice League Unlimited and the Justice League. Far better than Hal would have. It was a different team.
No, I understand, but I just the Jon Stewart thing, I feel like it was almost. He's a great character and all. Don't get me wrong, and I've loved a lot of the stories that I read by him, but I just felt like it was this affirmative action thing. It's just like,
oh, I agree too, because they added Hawkgirl, they added him. You know, it wasn't Barry, it was Wally. Like they did a lot of things that really didn't sit well when they first started that show. But as it developed, I think those characters got more depth in those shows than they ever did in the comic books, and more notoriety for it. And I think that's been great.
Yeah.
But then, you know, Warner Brothers is like, oh yeah, no. You can't have a Hal Jordan action figure. We're going to give it away, and you don't get it. And even if you get it, it's not going to be on his body in his suit. You got to buy this, and then the head's not really going to fit because we don't want. It's like those stupid little decisions that Warner Brothers does. That's just kind of like
it's at times they really just don't know what to do with this property.
They don't, and there's nobody driving the ship, and I think that's where it really comes down to. They don't have a Kevin Feige. They don't have a Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Well, this is the problem. Then they put Jeff Johns in charge of this stuff, and that's the wrong move.
Well, I mean, but he has been behind some of the CW stuff with Berlanti, and I think they've done a good job there. And I don't know if it's the fact that John's hands aren't on it as much, just as a producer, executive producer or whatever. I really thought you were just going to say she's annoying and whiny.
No, I
had a rebuttal for that too. God damn it.
No, I want John's on a leash, and the character was based after his sister who died in the car accident.
Brian went a little nerd ragey, so we had to edit. Along with some of the greatest heroes in the world as a tribute to somebody who died way too young.
Right.
And so I am fine. I don't know about pulling that string. Like, I don't know if I'd be that. Like, see, that's where the nerd rage goes. And I've been dealing with it with the Masters of the Universe stuff. There's been some really ugly nerd rage for that stuff. Like,
I really want to ask your opinion of it because
I love what Kevin Smith did.
Yeah,
I thought it was amazing. And
I'm far from a Masters fan, but I really enjoyed the show.
That's the point, right? It brings in people that don't have previous knowledge. It kind of ties it all together.
Yeah.
And all the arguments, like I would say, okay, maybe you don't like Tila's reaction, but A, B, and C happened. What if they happened to you? Would you react that way? And most of them would be like, no. And I'm like, have you ever been in that position before? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, I don't know if you can really weigh in on it like that fervently.
Right.
And at some point, it usually devolves either into women should know their place and be pretty, and we don't need minorities in our properties.
Right.
And
which is bullshit.
And that's where it usually falls apart for me. And I'm like, you just lost all credibility. I'm like, we can talk about story parts. We can talk about unused characters. We can talk about dialogue you didn't like. Fine with all of that stuff, or the way they animated it, or maybe the animation style. I'm fine talking about all that stuff. The minute you devolve into racist, misogynist bullshit, it loses. And 90% of them do.
None of them saw the show and they were bashing the way Tila looked.
Oh no, most of them saw the show and still
before. A lot of them were bashing just the look of Tila because she was too muscular, and I'm like, did you look at the action figure very closely?
Well, no, she was. It's the advantage of being weird. She wasn't. She was a Barbie doll in the 80s. Like, this is like, all right, but like, look at those eyes. Like,
well, the face, yeah, but the sculpt of the legs.
They're muscular. She's thick, for lack of a better term. She's definitely curvy, but like, her arms are very thin and slender. Her legs are a little bit thicker, but for the most part, she's pretty. And I think that, like, in their opinion, if a woman looks more tough and appropriate for the job that she's in, she's not in a bikini, in a one piece here, with no back on it. She's in like leather and she's in, fighting gear. Yeah. Well, then she's lost her value. And that's where I would rally against them. And
I fully agree.
It's been interesting. But then, you know what the greatest thing is? My best post out of all those, they released that trailer for the animated
kids version.
Version. Yeah. And everybody, somebody posted it, and my first response with a picture of Kevin Smith, like smiling, I go, hey, Kevin Smith isn't looking so bad now, is he? Because, they're rallying against that too. They're like, it doesn't look like ours. And I'm like, guys, like, this is Beast Wars for He-Man. like, it's going to bring in new viewers. It's going to bring in new people into the mythology. It's only going to be better for us, because if that's successful, then they'll make more product. If they make more product, we have more things to buy, you idiots. Like,
yeah, for me, I was never a fan of Masters.
Well, you played
You're
with
a child
dolls.
of you're a child of the 80s. I'm a child of the 70s.
Yeah.
I grew up with
Dolls.
I saw those same film animation cells that was on He-Man for the Tarzan show.
Yeah.
Zorro, Lone Ranger,
Yeah.
Black Star, everybody. The same. They reused the same cells. I also grew up with reruns of Johnny Quest where people got shot and eaten by big monsters. And
Yeah.
remember this red laser, blue laser shit? They got shot and died.
We weren't allowed to play with guns. Brian.
Yes.
We weren't allowed to play with guns growing up.
Yes, I know.
No more cowboys and Indians. Unless you were in G.I. Joe. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a different era. I think I think it was like there are this moment in particular, I am envious of you. I am deeply envious of you from the perspective of you didn't grow up. You grew up in the 80s, but you weren't shaped by it.
No.
And so, like, I have my 80s Masters over there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my 2021 Masters there. And I've got multiple different scales around the house because I'm buying everything Masters. I'm buying Transformers again. You know, I've got the Ark. I've got my Star Wars. I've got Spider-Man and Lego and any number of things back there. And it's like, you're not influenced by that stuff. Like, it might look cool to you, but it's not going to, like, you know, break the bank for you. And for me, it's just looking at it going, Jesus Christ, like, when does it stop? Like,
I don't think it has to do with the era. I just think that's a me thing.
No, I think it does have to do with the era, because Hopkins isn't all about all this stuff either. And Jesse's into some of it, right? Jesse's a little bit younger than you and a little older than me, but, like, he's not he's like, oh, the Transformers look cool, or the G.I. Joe stuff looks cool, but I don't really need it. Like, he's doing Legends for the most part in DC and, you know, McFarlane and stuff.
Right.
And kind of the classic comic stuff, but he's not going for Thundercats. Like, he's not, like, paying an arm and a leg for reproductions of Panthers nunchucks. Like, you know, it's those kind of things where I'm just looking at it going, yeah, man, like, if it was just superheroes, God, my wallet would be much happier. And then my dumbass is playing with new stuff, so I bought, like, a couple $100 worth of Fortnite stuff. Like, I just, you know, it's those kind of things where it's like a little envious of that, because it is 100% a reflection of, like, my formative years of, like, life, and, like, that 83 to 87.
Let's be honest here. The cartoons I grew up with, if we got a toy out of it, it was a miracle. In the 80s, if it had a toy line first, then the cartoon.
Right.
And there was a different way of doing things. You know, it's just, and it's...
They were commercials. They were 30-minute commercials, 22-minute commercials.
Yeah. You would always notice how they always kept saying the names. So all this stuff was drilled into your head.
Yeah.
And my cartoons weren't like that. You know, it's just...
And,
you know, it's...
And that's why I'm envious, because it's like we were brought up where the toys gave you a physical representation of the thing that you got on the screen, so you can hold it while you're watching it. Yeah. And some did better than others. Like, Marvel didn't. Like, we never got Hulk toys.
No.
Or Spider-Man is Amazing Friends, and you know, like, a full line that was focused on them. And so
please, I mean, look how many cartoons Marvel produced before they started doing Hulk and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was
Spider-Woman and Fantastic Four and the Amazing Spider-Man.
they had the Amazing Friends, and that was it for the longest time in terms of Marvel superheroes in cartoon form.
Well, no, but before that.
Before that, they
Yeah.
had, well, I mean, Hanna-Barbera, they did have a, the rumor mill of, they did have the Fantastic Four, but they also had, the Fantastic Four from Hanna-Barbera as well.
Yeah.
Spider-Woman was from Ruby Spears.
Yeah.
And
they had Spider-Man.
Yeah, they had Spider-Man.
And then they had something else.
They had the Amazing Friends.
Amazing Friends and the Hulk came out early 80s, like 81, 83.
But for the longest time, they were producing a lot, like they were doing Transformers, they were doing RoboCop. It's like they weren't animating their own properties. They were animating properties they didn't own.
Yeah.
Which doesn't, it's like, why are you buying a license when you have the license? But, again, then you got all this marketing material behind it.
Yeah. Which
makes sense why you're buying the license.
Yeah. It was a different, God, it was so different. Yeah. So did you, by the way, before I forget, did you get the Nightwing sticks yet?
God, you're evil.
If you'd like to see a review of those, it is on Caster's Corner Toy of the Day from a few weeks ago. Anyway.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this review, you really have to see it because it is phenomenal.
I was in shock. Although somebody made a comment in the last couple of days that made a lot of sense. And it was, if you watch the new Titans show, when he hits somebody with their tasers.
Right.
So it's replicating the idea of like it's tasing somebody. And I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. They are still giant vibrators.
Yeah, there is still a better way to do that than making them vibrate like that.
And on the box, it's like vibration feature. And I'm like, not rumble feature, not like replicate your taser feature. No, you're going to go with, okay. All right, Here we are. They're still cool. They're still cool as hell. Still fun to have them. I've been on a kick for those. Like, I got the nunchucks. I got those. I got all the helmets that I've been working on. I got to get that Spider-Man helmet that they announced today at some point.
I totally flaked on the Hasbro thing. It's just...
They had a killer one. They pulled out all the stops for this one. They just completely went crazy.
I just want to know when Quasar's coming out already. It's just
there's photos that Nova finally hit California.
Right.
So
that's nice.
Quasar should be. I couldn't rationalize paying $50 plus shipping because you can buy them from overseas, and I think he was like $56 or whatever plus $30 to ship in 2 weeks, and I'm like, I don't like the characters out. I want Nova and I want Quasar pretty bad. And Bill realized that if you take the Quasar head off and put it on the suit body from Agent Ross, Martin Freeman's character, you have an Alexander you got a Pierce figure.
Nice.
Because it looks like Robert Redford. So.
No, it's I honestly, because of my day job, it's I deal with we're in a logistic nightmare as a country.
Yeah.
And that's why I know logically that's why they haven't been out here, but I've been very impressed with what Hasbro has got here.
Hasbro, McFarlane's, Mattel. Like, I don't, like, everybody's like, oh, everything's slowing down, shipping supply lines. And I'm like,
it depends what it is.
Guys, toys have just been but like, they're killing me. Like, killing me on these things. They're showing up 2 months early, for Christ's sake. It's insane. It is insane.
Not in my area. For some reason, my Walmarts and my Targets.
Oh, no. Online stuff. Like stuff I've got from Big Bad or stuff I order from our friend Mike's Toys and stuff out in California. Yeah. The specialty and the specialty retailers and stuff like that have been getting stuff faster and quicker.
Big Bad is finally mailing me my She-Hulk. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what took so.
God, I'm like looking. I'm like, I I did her months ago. Jesus.
Yeah, you did her a month ago, and they sent me Dark Star, but they didn't have Ultron, and I'm like still waiting for Ultron.
Yeah. It's weird.
Weird.
It's very weird. It is very weird. And like the import toys that I've been buying, overall, have been really delayed, like a year delay. For that stuff. And so like, but like, I don't think the stores are ordering as much, which is why we're not seeing stuff on shelves, to be honest with you. I don't think it's not a production problem. It's not a shipping problem. It is a retail problem of not, I mean, come on, like, look, but no Marvel Legends. On the other hand, I haven't missed a wave of Marvel Legends because of shipping.
I mean, on the other hand, I mean, go to my Walmarts and the shelves are bare.
Yeah.
And they're a disaster also. So it's just, they just don't give a crap.
Well, Walmart's Walmart, but like, the problem, but from my perspective is they're not ordering, which is to say, like our Targets last week got the Ultron wave, got the Build-A-Bear wave, right? And so everybody had them. It's true. You build a bear. It is a Build-A-Bear wave. They had them. Everybody got them in the state of Connecticut, right, at Targets.
Yeah.
You could pretty much walk into any Target last week and have gotten a full set if you wanted it.
Yeah.
And then they're gone. A couple of them, Dark Star and I'm trying to think who's been hanging around. Dark Star's been hanging around. Who else is in that wave? The Iron Man has been hanging around. Riri's been gone quick. Ultron's been gone quick. The Vault Guards have been gone quick. The Iron Man suits and Darkstar have been sitting, right?
Right.
They won't restock them, is what my point is. Like for example, I like the Marvel Retro line, the 5-inch 5 POA line.
Yeah.
So again, Targets in Connecticut, some, not all, got them. They all got one case each.
Right.
Gone.
Okay.
And they have not been back out since. They never restocked them. And so that's been the consistent thing where the stores will get one case, not a replenishment case, not a reorder. They get one case. If you miss it, you're done. And like those, I've got the Lando wave from Star Wars, right?
Right.
They showed up and I checked every day. I've been checking almost every day. Walmarts have gotten one case and only three Walmarts in the state of Connecticut have gotten that case. Like,
I don't understand.
But
I don't get it.
Targets have gotten them. Some people have gotten them online. So my point is, if they were replenishing stock, if they were ordering to be staggered, so you get a case and then you replenish it, and you order 3 cases. So when the shelves are bare, you put something else out. They're not doing that, and they haven't been doing that since Toys R Us closed.
No,
and that's been my point of it's not the shipping, it's not the fulfillment. It's 100% Target and Walmart not understanding their customers.
And it depends on, I mean, obviously the action figure aisles are bare, but you go down Barbie, you go down Lego, you go down preschool, filled to the brim with stuff.
Yep.
But the stuff we're looking for, nope. Not at all.
But okay, but I'm going to throw this out there for you. If you want a McFarlane toy, you can get it. If you want a Fortnite toy, you can get it. If you want a Mario Brothers toy, you can get it. For some reason, well, no, it's not even that. Because if you want a kid's Marvel toy, you can get it. It is the lines that are designed for collectors that are meant to be bought at the case level. Meaning, if you walk in, you're 90% going to buy the entire case.
Right.
So those things are not understood by. It's the same argument we've been going over and over again for years. It's such bullshit.
It is. It's and again, it's just like people blame the manufacturer. They blame. I mean, it's not logistics. Buyers. It's the retail stores. It really is.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't know.
No,
they have no idea how to do it, whatever.
And every time Hasbro gives one of them an exclusive, I just cringe. I'm just like,
I know they've got a Tom Holland exclusive at Walmart now, and I just really want it. and I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to get it. So, but it looks so good. Looks so good.
At least Target is opening up with the pre-orders.
Unless they cancel them.
Yeah.
So let's leave it off on a good note because we're at about an hour. So, what's the coolest thing you've gotten recently?
Coolest thing I've gotten? Wow. I haven't bought a lot of stuff in terms of that. I've been spending most of my money on these, going to places like Redbubble and TeePublic and buying shirts. I got like a ton of shirts here, and this is one of my new favorites. This is a Wildcat Gym. So.
I like that. That's a cool one. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I've been buying a lot of those, and those are my real purchases. Like
that's fun. No, that's fun. That's the fandom, right? It's part of the.
I mean, I finally embraced my my inner geek. I used to not want to wear these shirts. Now I'm just like, screw it. I don't know why.
TeePublic has this one, right?
Oh, nice.
Right.
Shameless.
It is, and this one. Well, thank you. I know. I still say it. Thank you for coming on and taking the time.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we got to end the year. Maybe we'll end the year with trying to get everybody back together again and doing another fight, because we never got everybody together. It was like you were on, Hopkins was off. Hopkins was on, you were off. So like we got to get everybody. And Hopkins got to get a better mic. So
that was. I mean, I was in the dark place that time. So
it was still a good show. No, it was still a good show. But like we got to get everybody. That was a lot of fun to have the conversation with everybody. And Sanchez is like holding his phone like over his head. JQ's like sitting on the floor. It was fun. It was fun. We got to get everybody back together. So, well, thank you. Go to fanboyfactor.com. Find Brian there. Follow all his stuff on all the socials. I think you're Fanboy Factor on all the socials, right?
Yeah, everywhere, including YouTube. So
yeah, so go check that out. Watch Sean's Toy of the Week or Toy of the Day or however many he makes Brian film for him. Go support the kid. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Enjoy this.
Recording stopped.